Hey, I'm Ben from Simplified Fitness Business, and today we're going to look at 4 ways that you can make your business stand out as your business. So making it really who you are. There's so much noise in the fitness industry there that if you're not standing out, clients don't know who you are. And if they don't know who you are, how will they ever find you? So we'll look at some ways to have clients know who you are and make sure that you're getting the right clients for your business. So finding the right clients for your business doesn't have to be complex. In fact, it's actually really simple. But it does mean you have to have a hard look at, why you started in the first place, what's in it for you, and who you want your clients to really be. There's a lot of noise out there in the fitness industry, and there's a lot of people claiming to have the answer to your problems. More clients, more success, more money, more revenue, more whatever. And they're all really good programs out there, and there's a lot of good help out there. But it's like a diet, like a workout program. You've done these for your clients. Like every diet actually works. They just don't all work for you. Just like every fitness program actually works, but they just don't all give you the result you want. So like every fitness business program out there is in some way successful, but how do you know which one's right for you? How do you make your business your business? I think that's really important, because otherwise you sort of end up in a point where you stopped working for someone else because you didn't like the way that was done and you wanted to find your own business. After a while, if you're running someone else's business program or you're copying someone else's model and it doesn't really suit who you are, then, well, it's not going to be you. And if it's not you, you're not going to stick at it for that long. Look, we've all been there before. We left gyms in the past where we didn't like the way things were done. We didn't like the quality that was handed out. So we sort of initially, like most of us, that's probably why you stepped out in the first place. I know when I was starting out, I was working for gyms, and the quality of the service, the customer service, I come from a customer service background where that was the critical point. And in an industry that is completely central around clients and people, just baffled me that customer service was never a concern for the big gyms. So I stepped out because I wanted to start my own thing and do it my way. But when I started looking at getting help and finding other fitness programs out there, or business help, or MBAs, and I've been through a lot of them, it was all revolved around the revenue focus. It was just sales and marketing, which is great. They're key elements of the business, but at its heart, my business had to be about helping my people. And if it wasn't going to be about that, then I didn't want to have a bar of it. So when I started looking at programs, I mean, the one that stands out the most for me was the old bait and switch program. Was something that got sent out to a lot of fitness professionals there, where you sort of attract the client in with one thing and say this, but then when they get in there, it's a little bit different. You switch it over and then you try and sell them a different program. And I mean, that's cool and it gets sales, but it really wasn't me. I found a lot of programs over there had a lot of success, but they weren't me. And so I had to reinvent the way that I did my fitness, and I had to make sure that it was always going to be something that at its core was me and who I believed it should be. I found once I sat down and actually boiled down the business that I wanted to grow and the key elements that I wanted to have as part of my business, what I wanted to be known for, and started building my business around those tenets, around those core principles, then everything started to fall in place much quicker and much more successfully. And when I scaled up, it was much easier to scale because it was staying within what I truly believed in. I wasn't trying to make something else work. I wasn't continually feeling like I was always holding up different parts of the business. The business just worked because it was at its core me. There's 4 key elements that I feel are really, really important to having a fitness business that is you. And number 1 is know your people. So if you don't know who you are as a fitness trainer, who you want to help and who your clients are, then it's really hard. And what you become is, we've all seen those trainers in the gym that have the bio up on the wall and it says they specialize in literally everything in the fitness industry. It's like they've gone to the topics of fitness encyclopedia and written down every topic on the board. And they do muscle strength, they do transformations, they do women's fitness, they do weight loss, they do kickboxing, they do circuits, the list goes on. An old tradie once said to me, if you specialize in one thing, you'll be really, really good at that one thing. But if you try to learn everything and try to do everything, you'll be good at nothing, because you don't get enough time at any one thing to become really, truly good at it. So know what you are, know who you are, and know what you specialize in, know your people. If you specialize in transformations and body transformations, then specialize in that, own it, be that. If you specialize in women's fitness, or you're a kickboxing instructor, or you just love circuits and classes and group fitness, then specialize in that. We build our business model around group training and group fitness because I love the element of group training. I love that social and community atmosphere. That was what really did it for me. The one-on-one training was great, and there were specialty times when it was needed, but it really wasn't my strong suit, the thing that I loved doing. Yeah, I was good at it, but it wasn't what I loved. So know your people. I knew what I wanted. So once I knew what I wanted, knowing my people became a lot easier. I knew that the people I wanted to work with loved that type of training. They loved that fitness. They loved that group sort of environment where it was always a team of people. It was that social atmosphere and that pace of the room kept you going. The community was what drove them. We found that our average age was about 42, not 22. So and a slightly older population that just wanted to find something that was more their pace, more their style. But know your people. So who do you love working with the most? Of all the clients you currently work with, which ones are the ones that, and not the easy ones or the hard ones, but which ones do you love working with? What are the types of fitness and what are the types of training and types of coaching and types of clients you work with where you find yourself just craving more knowledge and looking for more information on those people? They're your people. So build your business around who you love working with. Like, they say if you find a job that you love doing, you'll never work a day in your life. You've been in the fitness industry a long time, you know that there's some clients that really make it hard work. So build your business around the people you love working with. They're so much easier to work with and you'll get so much more enjoyment and passion out of it that it becomes much, much easier to work with. So know your people. Who are the people you love working with? And if you've got a big bag or field of people that are all in this narrow little field, then everything you do becomes very similar and it makes it really easy to become really good at helping those people. Whereas if you've got different people across the board all the time, it's really hard to jump between people who are looking for weight loss, people who are looking for health, people who are looking for rehab, and people who are looking for performance. They're really hard things to bounce between. If you're dealing with clients all over the shop, that's what you're going to be doing, just bouncing from one to the other. So know your people. Find your narrow corridor and stay in that corridor, stay in that lane so you can really focus on the people that you love working with, yeah? Know your people. Number two, adapt. You've got to be able to adapt. So you know your people and you know what they want, but the fitness industry changes so fast. It is fickle. Like, it's always something different. When I went through the industry, Les Mills was the biggest and greatest things, but at the moment in the fitness industry, Les Mills don't stand out as the embodiment of fitness. They're still there and they're still great, but they're not the be all and end all. If you're from 20 years ago, 30 years ago, then the gym was all about lifting heavy weight. Lift the big things. What are we going to do? We're going to lift some weights, we're going to lift some iron pump, get buff. That was all what it was about. But nowadays, that's not really the standout. Like if you look at the majority of people, they're not looking to get big and ripped. They're not looking to do a heap of aerobics classes. They're looking for different things. So once you know your people and you get to know what they want, you look at the trends out there. HIIT training was a thing, well, it's always been around, but it's suddenly become this hot commodity to do HIIT training and use that term. CrossFit was a hot commodity. It became a popular thing. And yeah, they're still around. But then there was a time when they were the be all and end all. They were the hottest thing at the moment. So you had to adapt. So watch the market, watch what everyone's doing and learn to adapt fast. I think the biggest example for me was during COVID, was when everyone was going online, but everyone was dropping what they were doing and switching everything to online. Now, it's one thing to pivot and adapt and follow everyone else. It's another thing to know your people and stick to your guns and be able to pivot in that mark. So what we ended up doing was pivoting to offer a temporary online solution to our existing clients to simply retain them while COVID was passing, and then at the other end, bring them back in store. And we watched a lot of people also follow this model, but pivoting fast was another thing. It took us 3 days to get up and running, and that for me, that was a long time. But for some gyms locally, like they took 6 to 7 weeks. And at that point, most of your clients have lost heart. They've been bored. They've just found something else to do. If you can't pivot fast, your clients will get bored. You can't do the same thing all the time. So learn to adapt, continually upgrade, reinvent your model. Like, your people will always be your people and your core beliefs will always be your core beliefs. But there's 100 ways to do these things, 1,000 ways to do these things. Find new ways every day. Different classes, reinvent the wheel. Like, have some different systems where you're having different types of classes come through, or different themes, or different exercise ideas. So it's not always the same in, same out. You can't do the same workout every day. You can't have the same routine every day. People get bored. Learn to adapt and learn to adapt fast. But more importantly, continue to adapt as you grow. So if you've got 100 clients and 10 classes a week, that's going to be one thing. But if you grow to 1,000 clients, you can't still do 10 classes a week. You've got to adapt. You've got to put more classes on. You put more classes on, you've got to have more variety, because you can't just put 50 of the same class on. So the better you can adapt and reinvent what you do, or at least vary what you do, the more your clients will get interested. I find that if you always have something different to offer, it doesn't need to be everything different, but every month there's one little thing that's new or different. Clients go, oh, that's great. And they see the variety and they love it. I mean, you think about yourself, a really good example is the shopping, the weekly shopping. Every week you probably buy the same damn food every single week. But when you want a bit of variety, you don't buy a whole new shopping list. You don't change everything about your routine. You just change one or two things. You might get a different meal. You might go out for dinner one week. You might try a different recipe. You change like one or two things at most. Everything else stays the same, but that's enough to keep us interested. Same with your fitness. In your business, if you're not adapting, you're not moving, you're stagnant. If you're stagnant, you're dying. But if you change everything, the clients hate it. So you've got to just change little bits at a time. One thing a week or one thing a month, that's more than enough. But consistently focus on adapting and growing. That way your clients will always be interested and they'll always have fun. Number 3, stand out. You've got to stand out. Be different. Why are you different? Know these things and don't be afraid to stand out. Do something different. As I said, if you're following the crowd and doing what everyone else is doing, you don't stand out. You're just one in the crowd. But if everyone's going left and you go right, you're standing there by yourself. Now all of a sudden everyone's looking at you going, what are you doing different? Why are you different? Stand out. Stand out from the crowd. For us, it was simple. Like everyone in the local area for us always focused on six packs and summer models, bikini models, and losing weight. And there was always that standard generic fitness program. So we just stopped marketing for that. We just stopped talking about that. We don't do that. Average age for us is 42. Most of our clients simply want to feel better in a pair of clothes or be able to walk up a set of stairs without running out of breath. So we focused on the people that we loved most, we loved working with. We offered something different, but we made sure that when we talked about what we did, we were different to everyone else. We didn't copy the rest of the world. We wanted our ads to look different. We wanted our marketing to look different. We wanted our message to be different. So we made sure that we stood out. When we do our thing, we stand out. Now, for you, it could be something as simple as getting some really basic uniforms. I mean, you can get some really good stuff online. You go through Alibaba. You can go through a lot of different places to get some little uniforms or training singlets for everyone else, so that when you go to an event or when you're out in the public, you stand out. Because, well, when a group of people go down to the park, they don't all wear the same clothes. But when there's a group of people down the park that are all wearing the same shirt, they stand out because they're different. You know, when your marketing message isn't just that generic fitness, it cuts through the noise. When you're in front of your market saying things that they want to hear, you stand out. We talked about knowing your people and being adaptive, but if your message is about a service or a class that no one else is doing, then that's going to stand out too, isn't it? And if it's simply about just being outspoken and saying something that no one else is saying, then be that, but stand out. Cool? Be that industry abnormality. Be the clients in the business that stands out, that just are different. Cool? And that brings me to our last one here. Be unapologetically you. Everything we've talked about today is about being you and who you are. If you're a little quirky, if you're a little different, then be that person. If you're outspoken and loud and you swear a lot, which I do a little bit, yeah, be that person. Hell, if you're boring as hell and plain as mud, then just be that person, but own it. Be who you are. So never try to copy the rest of the world. As I said right at the start, there is so much noise in this industry that you really just can't be generic. You can't be what everyone else is. They say don't reinvent the wheel. So what that normally means is take something that someone else has done and just copy it. But don't copy it word for word. Don't copy it letter for letter or step for step. Take it as a starting point and then put your own spin on it, put your own splash on it, put your own color in it. But do it so that you stand out. Do it so that it's you. It embodies who you are. Now, if you haven't done so yet, write down your core values. There should be no more than 3, and they should be words or phrases that purely define who you want to be known for in the industry, and use those to help guide. But when you're being you, be you, own it. As I said, if you're weird, be weird. If you want to stand out, then just be who you are, because yeah, some people won't like you, but that's cool. Think about it this way. If you're going out to meet new friends and you're a really loud, outspoken, adventurous person, and you met someone who was really, really boring and quiet and just didn't do anything you did, at some point you're going to get bored with that person. If you ended up dating that person and you were really adventurous and they were really boring, at some point you're going to get bored with that person. So if you're marketing, think of your marketing like dating, really. You're advertising for, instead of a mate, clients, people who are going to hang out with you for hopefully a long, long time. We've got clients that have been with us for 8, 9, even 10 years, because those people truly line up with who we are as a business and who I am as, who I've built the business to be. If I've got clients that just don't fit the mold, then they don't stick around long. And if you're trying to grow your business, it's really, really hard to keep getting new clients all the time. So you're far better off working on a system that makes sure that you can keep clients easily. And if you've got clients that are exactly like you, then it's really easy to keep them. You're not working so hard because they feel aligned with you. And if you're always being yourself, then the clients you attract will always align with you. So be unapologetically you. Always be you, no matter what you say. If you've got something to say it. There's gonna be lots of people that don't like it. That doesn't matter. Who cares who likes it and who doesn't like it? What matters is the people that do like it. Now, you're gonna get lots of haters out there, and look, if you're in Facebook land, the more people hate on your post, the more coverage it's gonna get anyway. And I put it to you this way: when someone bitches and moans on your posts, or they complain about you and they say things about you, good people don't do that. Some people just like to bitch and complain. And if you've got any friends that like to bitch and complain, then you know they like to bitch and complain. And when they do bitch and complain, you sort of go, well, you do this about everything, and you probably have a look at what they're complaining about and just think for yourself, because you know that person always complains. And so you go, well, there's probably not a lot to it. Let's just have a look. Yeah, fair enough. It's a bit so-so, but that person always complains about everything. So at the end of the day, just be you. The people who are going to like what you say will like what you say. And the people who don't like what you say, well, they're not going to align with you anyway, and they're probably not going to be good clients to begin with. And if they're staff members or people you're trying to hire, they're probably not going to align with your values anyway. So be you, and if you always be you, you'll always attract people who work well with you. Well, that about wraps us up for the podcast. I mean, if you've got any questions, you can always shoot us through. If you haven't done yet, please don't forget to jump into our Facebook group. There's heaps of free content in there. My goal is to help you guys as much as possible, give you as much information so you can be as successful as possible. But if you have found some value out of this, that's awesome. Please feel free to invite people to our group so I can get some help as well. If you'd like to get a bit more information, you can always shoot us through an email or just message us through the Facebook group. But as I said, the key, I think, to standing out is always having a business that is truly you. Your business should be your business. It should be an embodiment of who you are as a coach, as a fitness owner, and even just as a human being. Know your people. Be you at all times. Stand out and always adapt. If you're always being yourself, then you'll attract people just like you. If you attract people like you, then they're easy to work with. Know your people. If your people are like you, it's super easy, but if you work with other people, then know those people. Stand out, always stand out. Whatever you do, make sure that it's unique and that people remember it. The key to a successful fitness business is always the ability for you to attract clients on a continual basis and help clients. Be known. It is a popularity contest a little bit. You've got to have people like you. And if you stand out and if you know your people, then it's really easy to do that. All right, guys, look, thanks for listening. I hope that's helped out. I'm Ben from Simplified Fitness Business. As I said, if you haven't joined our group yet, join our group. I'll put a link in the comments and description below. If you're watching on Facebook, thanks for doing so. Don't forget to hit like. Loves your help. If you've got any questions, please throw them in the comments. And guys, have an awesome day, and we will see you in the next episode.